All right, guys, welcome back. I got another intro video. Actually, at this point, this is just my initial thoughts on this new watch to the collection. I've been chasing a good G-Shock, something I can wear daily that has tons of features. And while my GW-5000 is great, it doesn't have all the features, and sometimes it's a little bit annoying because a lot of that data, a lot of the stuff you need right away is not accessible. It's great, but I think the module has, it hasn't evolved in many years. It's a cool style piece, but what I was looking for was something where the information is quickly accessible. I love being able to tell the time very quickly at a glance, so I really love analog watches because I've had them, the majority of all my watches pretty much are analog compared to my, except my two G-Shocks. And I came across this model. So I tried another Mudmaster at work. I tried them at Macy's, and I came to the conclusion like, wow, this is a big watch, but for some reason it wears extremely comfortably, and I'll go into that. I've had the Frogmans before, the GF-8320 or 8235, which was the 35th anniversary, but also the GWF-1000 Frogman. And those were cool watches. I really wanted to like them, but I ended up selling them because they were not comfortable. I was always in between points on the band, and it just had humongous, especially the GWF-1000 just had huge wings. Lug to lug, I think it was some insane 58 or something like that. So it would hang off your wrist. No matter how tight you made it, the lugs would just be there. So this came up, and I got this from Watchoutz in Hong Kong. Amazing stuff. They had this to me here in 2 days with FedEx shipping. Amazing stuff. Reach out to them if you need this watch or any other G-Shocks. Those guys are crazy. Good with what they do. They're also very cool with Seikos, and I've bought a lot of stuff from them. But let me just get this off this pillow real quick so I can show you guys what's up with this. So this is the GWG-1000-1A3. I got this particular Mudmaster model because I loved the white contrast on the dial. Now, there are other models, but this one spoke to me because this actually, all the Mudmasters actually have lume. This one just has pretty good lume around all indices, the numbers, and the dials. The hands. Everything looms up. So if you actually give this decent exposure to sunlight or any kind of light, it stays up there. It's not Seiko LumiBrite, but it's surprisingly good. It definitely beats a few of the watches I've had in my collection before. So that was one reason. Secondly, I love solar. I love solar powered watches. That just means, look, if I'm gonna buy a watch, I don't wanna worry about batteries. I don't care. I know a lot of G-Shock guys are like, but it's only a battery. It costs $5. You can drop it in, you can do it yourself. I don't want that. If I'm buying a G-Shock, I want this thing to be indestructible and not care. I mean, I've seen and heard that the solar cells, can go a decade without the battery kind of dying out on the back end. So that was huge for me. It does have additional features. And again, I'm not going to go too much into the features. It's got a, because, there's tons of videos on that on YouTube. It's got a compass. It's got an altimeter. It's got a temperature gauge, which I got to figure out how accurate that is. One additional benefit it has is it does have a universal, or I should say like a GMT style function, where you can get this thing to move to the right time zone. It also has the MB6 function, which means you can sync it. And because here in Southern California, especially where I live, I don't get the signal from the atomic plant or the nuclear plant or wherever that signal comes from in Colorado. So I just have it on my iPhone, and there's an app that you can buy that syncs it up. So I just did that yesterday. So let's get into it. So real quick, why is this comfortable? So it is a monster watch. This is actually huge. It actually, I think, is bigger from the side than my Tuna Emperor. But here are the reasons why. So right off the bat, you can see the lugs, the strap literally goes down. It's a U, right? It's a U. It comes down and will hug your wrist. And I think this is probably going to be good for guys up to 7.5, 7.6 inch. At which point I have seen on the forums that guys with bigger wrists tend to find these as pinch points. I guess I'm okay with that because my wrist is 7.3 or so. So that's one. The straps come down, right? That is huge in comfort because it'll actually hug your wrist. Number two are these amazing wings they've included, right? So you can see it here. These are wings that go underneath and help bridge the case back into the strap, okay? So what does that mean? Sure, it looks cool aesthetically, but for comfort, it allows there to be a nicer, snug fit on your wrist. It also prevents the watch from moving and sliding if you're on a particular setting, because these have a little bit of texture, not too much, but that helps it. Number three, you don't get these crazy abnormal gaps between your wrist and your strap or your band, because the gap is now filled with this. So I'm looking at all the old frogs, all the other larger G-Shock Master of G's that are made, and I've never found one that fit so beautifully. I would love an analog frogman with wings, because that's the best looking watch, I think. And I love this one too, and this one just has that added benefit. So these wings are huge, huge in terms of comfort, and how it feels on the wrist and fits. It prevents the huge head from moving. It locks it down. It also keeps the watch looking like a watch and not having this, like, you know, monster overhang. I have taken the bands off and kind of put them in boiling water and cupped them in a small teacup so you can get this curvature. That helps. These are definitely softer resin bands than say some of the old Frogmans, or which, you know, obviously I think those had carbon fiber in them, so they were stiffer. These are soft. They're not supple like the GW-1000, but they're good, much better than I expected. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I got this watch, is because it's comfortable. If you're not going to find a watch comfortable to wear, you're not going to wear it. And I'm like that. I don't want to have 10 watches where I love to look at them, but if I'm not wearing them, they're sitting in the box getting no love. So that's one of the best things about this watch. I'll just quickly cycle through. So here's your date, date, and the day, and then if you press this, you get your barometric kind of graph, which honestly, that's probably going to be useless for most people. And there's your digital time. If you got this monster dial, which is pretty big, and you still want it in digital form, sure. I like to keep it at this point. This is your mode button. So this little yellow arrow moves through. So we're in time mode. If we go through to barometer, then we go through to temperature. Recall is for your barometric and temperature and all that stuff. I would never use that. Stopwatch, pretty cool. You know, you got your timer, then you've got your alarms. You got like 5 or 6 alarms in here. This is the best part, world time. So this is a cool feature because it allows you to see the world time and your home time. So this, you just saw the second hand when I switched to it, was pointing here to Delhi in India, which is where I've got family. So the current analog time is the Indian time right now, in all over India, and it's telling you this is at night. And then down here, if you see, it says it is 10:07 a.m. home time. So being that I'm in Southern California, I fall under the LAX time zone. That's what's up. Now that's convenient. If I'm traveling, this is good, but I can also press and hold this and switch the cities, and you'll see it, right? So I now get in digital form so here's my analog showing LAX time, and down here is showing the Delhi time in digital. So this is if I was traveling from India back to LA, and this would be the home time, which would be Delhi. So now everything's backwards. So I'm just going to switch it back. There you go. I love how quick the motors move. and we're back to standard. This is receiving. You can see I received it a day ago, and then we're back to time. So great features, a lot of stuff. This has a monster crown you can really grab. It's got special features. You can't actually set the time on this, but I just synced it up to my iPhone using the app, and it was a lot easier than futzing about. There is no Bluetooth on this, but honestly, I found more of the Bluetooth features on most of the watches to be cool, only if you're setting the time and you don't want to screw around. Otherwise, I didn't find any benefit in it. So stay tuned. I'm going to have more on this watch after the honeymoon period. I've also ordered the J's and K's adapter for this, which was surprising. I didn't know they had one. And I'm going to put my favorite straps on there, isofrane. I'm going to try out an isofrane because while I love this watch with the stock band, and I like the green look, but originally I was trying to get the black band from another Mudmaster. I'm in between two sizes, which is the story of my life with all G-Shocks. I'm always in between. And the isofranes have always been my favorite strap for all my analog watches, so or mechanical watches. So what I'm going to do is I've got this 24 millimeter isofrane that has been notched for 22, and I'm going to put this on, and if you notice, it's also blacked out. So stay tuned. Once I get those adapters in, I'll put it up. But for now, let me just put this bad boy on my wrist so you guys can take a look and see how this wears. I don't have a super crazy lens, but it will look pretty crazy. So again, 7.2, 7.3 inch wrist. It's big, I'm not gonna lie, it's big, but man, its presence is amazing. You can tell time off of this thing wherever you go. It's got cool lighting. I don't know if that comes up, but it lights up the entire screen, including the digital LCD, which is great. And this is how it looks off to the side. I think it's about 18 or 19 inches, or sorry, millimeters off. And you can see if I do a profile shot, if I can get that going. Yeah, super crazy. Okay, you can see how there's no gap here, which helps and keeps the watch from moving and wears really comfortably. Yeah, so here, this is where I wish the buckle was not metal, because this, after some point, just rubs against the skin and just gets sore over there. But very comfortable, very unique watch, and it's built to take a beating. So for me, I love it. This is definitely going to become one of my dailies, because sometimes there are things even the tuna will get susceptible to, and you know, I don't want to risk it. So this is a great watch. Once again, guys, I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe. I do this for you guys, so coming up with content is often driven by the love you guys post in or questions you post on your in the comment section. So please like and subscribe. I try to get to all the questions. If you do have additional questions on this, feel free to post them. I can definitely make requests and make smaller videos to put this up. But for now, this is just a brief introduction overview to the GWG-1000-1A3 Mudmaster. Thanks.